Hi and welcome to It's a Crime. I'm Linda and today is a special video where I'd like to do this at least once a month if you guys really like this format. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the 7 cases that I've covered in January and then give you updates on each one of them. So I'll go through each one of them and then we can comment and chat, and if you have questions I can answer them. Sound good? So throughout this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up so that I know that you're digging this video format or not, and also that I can create one in February. I chose to do a premiere because at the time of this recording, I'm still not able to do live on mobile. Now, as a creator, you have this feature unlocked at 1,000 subscribers, but because I grew so quickly, thanks to all of you, I have far exceeded 1,000 subscribers. However, I'm still waiting for it to be unlocked. Thankfully, I just had the community board unlocked, so I'm able to communicate with you a little bit more. So my very first video and my first case was Heidi Broussard. I couldn't even get this news out of my head when I first heard it. So on the morning of December 21st, I actually woke up and thought, you know what, I'm just gonna flip on the camera and I'm gonna talk and I'm just gonna get it out there because it bothered me so much. And I've been interested in true crime since I was little. One of my first few cases that I followed was O.J. Simpson and Laci Peterson, and throughout the entire time. And back then there wasn't internet and there was just the news, but I followed it religiously. So when I uploaded this first video, I had no idea what to expect. I just thought, let's just film the video, let's get it out there so at least it's off my chest. And I had no idea if anybody would be receptive to my videos, but very quickly I saw that you were. So I am super grateful for that, and I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate your support. And thank you for all the supportive comments. So let's get into this. Heidi Broussard, longtime friend Megan Fieramusca, which is a friend for almost 20 years, was indicted on Tuesday, which is only 2 days ago at the time of this recording, for capital murder and kidnapping. And the indictment stated that Megan asphyxiated her friend after kidnapping her and her little newborn daughter, Margot. And this was back in December. Now, the indictment said that Megan choked Heidi by ligature strangulation with a leash and with her hands. Now, all we knew so far was that it was by ligature strangulation, but the news just came out yesterday that it was with a leash and with her hands. So here's a woman, Heidi, who just gave birth. She has her best friend around. They chat about being pregnant. They're super excited. They have the same due date. And Megan came to the birth of Margot, and then all heck breaks loose. And Megan hatches a plan to fake her pregnancy, and her plan, well, didn't go her way exactly. It's unfortunate now that these kids of Heidi's and her family and her friends and Shane all have to go through life now not having Heidi in their lives. And her little baby will never get to know her or even a chance to remember her, which is super sad. Now, there is a bond for her capital murder charge, which has been set at $1,100,000 for her kidnapping charge. Now, with capital murder, she is now eligible for the death penalty in Texas. Should have thought about that before she started all these shenanigans. But according to her, Margot's her baby. So Heidi's mother talked to KVUE News and said, and I quote, "This should have never happened to my daughter, never. What this girl's done was evil. That girl was so jealous of Heidi's life that it brought her to a place to kill my daughter." And Heidi's mom never trusted Megan even after all the years of their friendship. And she goes on to say, "I want to be in the courtroom whenever anything comes down because she's gonna see my face and I'm gonna bring a picture of Heidi. I want her to see face to face what she did." She also said that Heidi was the most friendliest person you'd meet in your life. Everyone loved Heidi and still loves her. Now, Margot had her 2-month checkup, and it was said that she's the healthiest that she could be, and she is so darn cute. I will add the link right here so you can see the videos I've done on this case, and check out also one that I talk about Megan's strange behaviors. I have 2 on that. I talk about some strange things that I've noticed and Megan's behaviors, and even how she called her imaginary baby Luna May and the translation of it. So it's something that you might want to check out. And also I talk about something called maternal desire, which brings these women to steal babies. Now, in one of my last videos, I asked if someone knew the cost of having a baby in Texas, and I'd like to give a shout out to one of my viewers. Her username is witchychick809 for giving me this info. She told me, because I had asked, how much does it cost in the United States or in Texas to have a baby? I'm in Canada, you go in, you have insurance, it doesn't cost you anything, you go home with your baby. And she said a V-birth with insurance is $7,699.22. A V-birth without insurance is $14,641.11. And she said a C-section with insurance is $11,267.77. And without insurance is $19,551.97. And that's for the state of Texas in 2019. And thank you so much for that info. That is crazy. I mean, Megan couldn't even pay for her vehicle violations or even to get insurance on a car and registration and all that. How's she certainly going to be paying for anywhere from $7,700 to $20,000, you know? But she just magically walked into a birthing center and gave birth magically after going on a day at the beach with her cousin. So anyway, Megan still maintains she's innocent in all this. It's just super insulting. But of course she's going to say she's innocent, right? February 3rd is the court date. Let's see how that all plays out. What is your thoughts about this case? What do you think is going to happen to Megan? If you're just joining us on this premiere, welcome and welcome to my channel. We just talked about Heidi Broussard case and are chatting about it, and I'm giving a few updates on it. I'll be talking about 6 other cases in this same video, so make sure that you stay tuned. And these are the cases that I covered in January. Now feel free to comment in chat, respectfully of course. Okay, next case, Paighton Houston. Peyton was a young 29-year-old woman who went missing on a Friday night in December while she was out with coworkers. And she went to a bar called the Tin Roof Bar in Birmingham, Alabama, and was later discovered deceased and buried in the yard of an abandoned home in a place called Hueytown. Now, there are so many stories that do not line up with this case. And Peyton's mom, Charlene, said that she just keeps getting different stories from the coworkers who Peyton went with allegedly that night. Now, for me, it seems off from the very beginning. Eyewitnesses stated that they saw her leave with two men. I wonder if she was even in that place because there's conflicting reports. She had a really weird text that bothered me, and if it bothered you too, put me too in the comments because it still bothers me. She says she doesn't know who she's with and she feels she is in trouble, but she doesn't say that she doesn't know where she is. If I was in trouble, I would think I would say where I was as well. Like, I don't know who I'm with, but I'm here at XYZ. Unless this person knew where she was, right? I also wonder if someone else wrote that text. So many questions are left unanswered on this, and I have pointed out little oddities in my videos, but I'd like to take a deeper dive on a little more that I've been finding out. It has to do with the coworkers' workplace and some events and trips that they had to go on. So I'd like to dig deeper into that. If you agree that you'd like me to dive in deeper too, just let me know in the comments or in chat. Now, as I was writing this to prepare for this video, there was currently a man wanted for abuse of a corpse in the Paighton Houston case. Now, his name is Frederick Hampton. He is the one who disposed of Peyton in Hueytown and buried her in the yard. But as I was writing this, the news came in that Frederick Hampton was actually caught in Cleveland, Ohio. And it says the U.S. Marshals Gulf Coast Regional Fugitive Task Force has been searching for the Brighton man since shortly after the warrant against him was issued earlier this month. The U.S. Marshals Northern Ohio Violent Fugitive Task Force captured Hampton. He was taken into custody at 7:30 p.m. January 29th, said the Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal Cliff LaBarge. So this guy is a sex offender, and he was in jail for 20 years for a violent sexual crime that involved a bunch more other individuals. Now, from what I've found, some of his family also follow in his footsteps. Now, sex offenders are not allowed to have social media, yet he does. And he was, or he is, or perhaps it's taken down now, but he was all over Facebook with, I think, like, I don't know, a bunch of different accounts, basically, with different names and different versions of the names. But I guess, like the law, it doesn't apply to him. In an earlier conference, the sheriff said this about Peyton and Frederick. We have evidence the victim and the offender were together the night of December 20th, 2019. We have evidence the victim died the next day at the house on McLean Street in Brighton. We have evidence that after the victim died, her body was disposed of a criminal manner by Frederick Hampton. And now, this morning, I saw that there is a cause of death from the coroner. And the coroner has officially ruled Houston's cause of death as an accidental drug overdose of morphine and methamphetamine. And Peyton's history was she was a drug addict from heroin, and there is a history there. I don't know if this was her opting to do drugs or if something happened, because we really don't know, right? I'm sure the family's relieved that they found out what the cause is, but also really hurt and really upset. So I feel for the family of the Houstons. I'm so sorry you have to go through that. Nobody should ever have to outlive their daughter or their child. Now, I've made several videos so far on this case, and you can check it out, and it just really stands out to me. I'm going to do a separate video again on this because of the new news, and also because there's so many lies and mismatched stories to this. There's usually a heck of a lot to uncover, right, when there's lots of different stories. So the things I would like to know is, did Peyton voluntarily do drugs? Why is there so many conflicting stories? I read from Peyton's best friend that she didn't even want to go out that night. And I also mentioned in a previous video, like, how the image of, and I don't know why this keeps popping in my head, but the image of a scene from How to Get Away with Murder. Have you watched the show? I love this show. But I keep thinking of a group of people gathering and discussing to talk about how this all went down. There are so many discrepancies. What do you guys think? And what part of this case would you like me to now go with all this new information? Let me know in the comments or chat, and let's discuss it. Okay, as we chat about it and you've just maybe popped in, welcome to my channel. We are discussing 7 cases that I covered in January, and with new updates on pretty much all of them. Please feel free to participate in the chat. Please keep it respectful no matter what your opinion is. Thank you so much. And don't forget to subscribe as well. There's a ton more videos coming out. The next case I put out was Harley Dilley. And I just feel so much for Harley. He's a fellow YouTuber, and 14-year-old Harley Dilley was found deceased in a chimney in Port Clinton, Ohio. Now, he was missing for about 3 weeks, and then he was found in a vacant vacation home right across the street from where he lived. It was believed that he climbed up the antenna tower and then climbed onto the roof, threw his coat down the chimney and his glasses, and then hopped in. And then he got stuck. Police and volunteers had scoured the area and then did another sweep of this home. After a few weeks, they came back and then they did a search in this home, and they found Harley there. Police said there were no signs of entry, so that's why originally they didn't go check, but once they redid the area, they decided to go in, and that's where they discovered Harley. So I'm not sure what led them back exactly, but that's where they ended up, and that's where they found him. Now, people are super choked up about the whole situation. There were protests. There are people mad at the authorities and mad at the parents of Harley. It's very heated and it's very emotional. People from the community and from out of town did go to his visitation and supported Harley by wearing his favorite color, which is pink. Now, I just found out that a couple days ago, it was reported that the owners of the home actually removed the chimney from their house in respect for the Dilley family. And the home has been in this family for generations, and they are absolutely devastated that this happened. They only go to the home seasonally, and they left in November, and they were due to go back in sometime in spring. They didn't know the family personally, though. Now, I have to say, I got to give another shout out to Laura Hendricks, who has directed me to a very interesting channel called Tarot Cards for the Soul, and it's really well done. I saw 2 videos that this creator did on Harley, and it had me very curious about what she said. She offered some insights to what happened, and I'll leave the link in the description below. She talked about Harley didn't want to go to school that day, which we know, because she said there were actual plans to do some challenge videos for his YouTube channel to get it going and plan things to get more subscribers and be more popular. And he did that with a few other friends, which she mentioned a girl and she mentioned another boy. And you got to check it out anyways. It gets you thinking of, you know, what was he doing, right? And I'd be curious to know if Harley actually had a fear of heights, because if he was, maybe that would change if he actually went on his own or if it was actually in a dare. What do you guys think? Now, one of the things that really got me choked up, and I did talk about it in the last video, was when I read his obituary. Harley would put coins on the ground so people can pick them up as signs from their loved ones. And that's just, that even gets me going right now. Like, I am betting though now that family and friends are always going to see coins on the ground from Harley putting them there from up above. So bless you, Harley. It's just such a good heart. Okay, that's 3 cases down. Now, if you're just joining us, we are just chatting about the Harley Dilley case. We've already discussed Heidi Broussard and Paighton Houston, and now just Harley Dilley. And I also mentioned updates in their cases. You're welcome to join us in chat. Just please keep it classy. All right, you ready for the next one? Buckle up. Chris Watts. Oh boy, okay. All right, where do I even begin with this one? This has sparked so much controversy since I've posted my video. And legit, I had no idea what I was in for. But do I regret it? No, I don't. I would have chosen to wait a little bit until I calmed down because there was a lot of finger wagging and people didn't like that. But I do not regret it. When I posted this video, I truly thought that I found the ponytail. Not that I found that it was a woman, but that I found the ponytail. Okay, so I saw other videos on YouTube talking about the person's walk or the 2 jeans, but never up close on a ponytail. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I just didn't see it. People were super, super angry. They said that I stole this person's video and I stole their theory, and I didn't. I just followed this case when it was early, and I binge watched a whole bunch of stuff in the beginning. I was so invested in this case because I have that natural curiosity for true crime, and then it was getting to me so much, I took a break from it. And then I put up this channel because of Heidi Broussard's case, and then I got curious again about Chris Watts, and I saw what I saw, and then I couldn't not do a video. I couldn't sit back and just allow this information to sit in the ether without saying something, because that's not right. Now, there's other people that have the theory. Great, that's fantastic. That just backs up what we all have been saying. It's a woman. I'm not going against any creator. That's wonderful if you found that. Great. This genre is so odd to me, how everybody is so territorial. It's super weird. There's space for everybody. There's space for thoughts. If I talk about the grocery store and I went and bought an apple and somebody else went and bought an apple, is that stealing? No. But I will tell you this. It is clear that this is a woman walking out of the garage. I'm not the only one to prove it, then that's great, like I said. The neighbor, Betty, is even on the police body cams and says that she saw a smaller gray truck outside of her home that same morning. NK's cell phone pinged in Frederick that morning, and she was seen, or a woman was seen, walking out of the house. So I don't know why people call me delusional, but we shall soon see. Just because you can't see it does not mean it's not there. I see details, I pick up on little nuances, and I want to also say this. Review my video of crit swats on my channel and go to where they are in the interview room. Then listen carefully to what she says, which I find very odd. It's when she stands up after the interview is over and she starts acting coy and puts her hand on her shoulder. And then she says to him, "Do they know I'm your witness?" She doesn't say, "Do they know I'm a witness?" She says, "Do they know I'm your witness?" What the what? Then, as she walks out the door, watch as she turns slightly to him and then looks at him and then looks away. I find this behavior really odd. You may not agree. Maybe somebody else has said that as well. Great if they did. I'd really love to talk to somebody who's an expert in body language and also micro expressions. I just found those two things really stood out to me. She stands up, she's kind of flirting in a way. She's maybe using her power of a woman or power of what she thinks she has. And then she goes to walk out, and just at that split second, she goes to walk out and just gives him this look and keeps going. I find that odd. What do you think? Now, things also got super crazy on my channel. I've had over 4,500 comments on this one video, and I have done my best to answer almost everybody. It has taken a lot, but it is me who is responding. Now, right away, I had a parody made of my video, of me and my video, and I guess the creator thought it would be funny to promote harassment and abuse. But let's just say I didn't find that funny. And those who don't condone bullying didn't find it funny either. But that's all I will say about that. Now, to the comments. I have no problems with anybody stating their opinion. It's your opinion. But as long as it's done in an intelligent manner and a kind manner. The stuff that I have read, I wouldn't even want to wish on my worst enemy. I have seen more things in the last week than I have in my entire lifetime. It's absolutely astounding. Now, attacking my looks, attacking my intelligence, the amount of foul language that deserves a bar of soap, and the biggest one at that. And I was also threatened that I'm going to end up exactly like Shanann. But I always like to do a positive spin on things, and I always look for positive. So the best thing that happened is the amount of people like you, who have shown their support. And even if they haven't agreed, they did it in a tactful way. And to you, I'm most grateful, and I most welcome those of you who are high vibing. Now back to the case. I was then told after I put the video up that Shanann's family didn't want anyone to make any more videos about this, so I haven't put another one out, nor is that video monetized. Okay, I want to make that clear. This video though is exactly what people need to see. Her cell phone pinged that morning in Frederick. The neighbor said that the vehicle that matches the description of what she drives was there the morning of the murders right outside of the neighbor's house. She lied to the authorities, and the discovery proves that. Before anyone starts getting their underwear in a knot and starts freaking out in the chat or in the comments, these are facts, okay? She deleted text. Her internet searches don't match what she's saying in the interviews, and last I knew, it's actually illegal to lie to authorities. And she lies time after time after time. And let's just face it, her moral compass isn't exactly straight and narrow. So do I believe she was there? Heck yeah, I saw it with my own eyes on the video. And there's evidence to back that up, that she could have been there. And even if that woman wasn't her walking out of the garage, it certainly isn't Chris Watts. And I've been thinking about this too, and I want to get this out there. If I was going in an interview and this went all down with my lover, then I would give everything that I would possibly or could possibly know, no matter how small, no matter how big, right? I mean, I would even include what I ate for breakfast, dinner, lunch, snacks, plus the portion sizes. You know what I mean? Like, I ate this kind of gum, it was spearmint, and this was the brand, and this is what time I called him, and this is what we talked about. Like, here, have it all. Oh, you want to put me up to a poly? Yeah, no problem. Put me up to poly. Like, I'll do anything I can because what he did was despicable, and I would never do that to these kids. Not, why? You know what I mean? Back to the creators who have made videos similar to this, or the ponytail, Armchair Detective, Miss Jade, Jimiva Fam. I think that's how you say your name. I'm so sorry if I'm not. That's awesome, okay? I meant no disrespect to your work. In fact, it's awesome you did it. That's more, like I said, more that confirms what we're seeing, okay? And that just confirms there's more to it than meets the eye. Now, it's my understanding that Armchair Detective has his videos down on all this, so I can't watch it. But Miss Jade was pointed out to me today by a viewer, so I want to thank you for that link. And Jimiva Fam commented on my video and talked about her link to her video, so I watched it, and I'm super grateful for that as well. She did a good job of showing the differences of the different gaits or walks, and I liked how she compared Chris in the convenience store and how he walked. Now, one thing I did notice in that video is Chris walks with his knees turned out, and the woman walking out of the garage does not. And that's just one more thing to add to this big convoluted puzzle. Now, not everyone I know is a fan of Armchair Detective, but I do appreciate the work that he has poured into his videos. I do know he was recognized for his shadow theory by D.A. Rourke, and D.A. Rourke acknowledged his work. Now, people are coming into the comments and they're attacking like, oh, what, you're more smarter than the police, da 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 da. Well, this case ended really, really quickly. Chris Watts was in jail very quickly. And not only that, but if Armchair Detective detected the shadows and proved it, and the DA acknowledged it, then yeah, maybe there is some things that we are seeing that they can't or won't. So hopefully Armchair and the other creators will see this video and understand where I'm coming from, and there's no need to for all of us to segregate unless it's warranted. I mean, that's just, I've never seen such a genre be so against each other. It's weird. Oh, P.S. If you take a look at my community post, yesterday I posted an updated comparison with the three figures, the same figure, but in three different ways. And I outlined the ponytail for you so that you can get a better look. So for those of you who have had a hard time seeing it, try distancing yourself from the screen. I heard that helps. And then also I have the ponytail outlined. And then I did a comparison of the woman walking and also when NK walks out of the interview room. So for those of you who do see what I'm talking about, you're going to be in shock more. Be prepared. And the truth is coming out. Like I said, the truth will come out. Even if it's a one little baby piece of the puzzle at a time, in 1,000 or 10,000 piece puzzle, it's coming. And I want to address to those of you who find it fun to harass and threaten anyone on this platform. Let me make this really clear. YouTube has updated the terms of service, okay, which includes harassing and abusing other people and also YouTube creators. I take this super seriously, and you should too. And you can speak your opinion, no problem, but keep my looks out of it, and also refrain from saying anything that you wouldn't speak to your grandmother like. Unless you like eating soap and getting banned. and potentially banned from YouTube forever. So that would pretty much suck. So just think before what you say. Like I said, no problem with you having a contrary opinion, but keep it classy. Now, one more thing before I move on from this crazy case, I have to also shout out to the best comment that I've read that made me literally laugh out loud. And a person said, "It's a crime. Don't quit your day job. I think you need to go to your optometrist." And then the shout out to Rachel H, who says, she responds and says, "Well, she definitely shouldn't go see yours." That was the highlight of my day. So thank you for that. Much appreciated. I would absolutely love to dive in more into this mysterious woman. I just want to make sure it's respectful to Shanann's family. So for now, I will wait. But boy, do I have a lot to say. So, and like I said before, it's not monetized. I'm not doing this for the money. I woke up, I saw this, I stewed about it for 2 days. I was very bothered about what I saw. I thought about Shanann and the girls and thought, oh heck no, I'm not gonna sit by and let somebody go and ruin somebody else's life. I mean, if you had, okay, let's just put it out there. If you opened the door one day and your family member had her beside you and wanted to introduce you to her, what would you do? Even if you think that she's not involved, would you second guess? Because I certainly wouldn't have her walk anywhere into my house. Let me know in the comments what you think. Whew, it's gonna get heated. All right, enough of that, let's move on. If you just joined me, I just talked about Chris Watts, and before that, Paighton Houston, Harley Dilley, and also Heidi Broussard. And I gave you the new updates that was just unloaded this week. There's a lot of new information coming this week. All right, now on to Allison Mackenzie. Now, here's a woman from Arizona who's on vacation from December, and she was supposed to be on vacation in Belize until May. She goes on a 3-day excursion, and the first night stop is a place called Rendezvous Island. This place is teeny tiny, and it only has 10 palm trees on it. It's very, very, very small. Reports say there are 15 people and 3 boat crew in total with a tour company called Ragamuffin Tours. And I also read that there was 22 people, so already there's conflicting reports. Now, so they get to this island and they set up tents and mats and they sleep over there. And it's supposed to be awesome for stargazing and the sunset. Like, people are loving this tour. But there are mixed reports about what went down. So Allison's boyfriend wakes up the Saturday morning. So they're sleeping over Friday night. He wakes up the Saturday morning and Allison isn't beside him. In fact, she's nowhere to be found. So one report said that she was seen walking around at around 10 or 10:30 that night. And someone else said that they saw her walking with the captain back to the tent at 2:30 in the morning. The search only went on for a couple of days and then they stopped the search. But then I heard that FBI also is involved now. Now, I also heard an interview with her sister Jody, and she said that her sister did not drink and she's never seen her drunk because there was reports that she was intoxicated. And I did read on TripAdvisor that they served rum punch that night, usually on that island. Now, her sister Billy actually went to my comments under the video and said the same thing. So that could possibly dispel the theory that she got drunk and then passed out in the water. Her sister said that possibly she had one drink, but it was just not like her to drink. Also to note is that Allison loved the beach, but she didn't like to swim in the ocean. I'm the same exact way. I like the beach, but I might wade in the water possibly, but I don't like swimming in there. I've done snorkeling before, and I don't, it's not fun when you see a shark underneath you and all that. Like, it creeps me out a little bit. Again, if she didn't like to swim, it's not likely she decided to voluntarily go in for a swim, right? So I wonder what the heck even happened here. What are your theories? What do you think is possible? This is a tiny island. She's not there. I did hear conflicting reports also that there was somebody who lived on the island, and now they're saying there's watchmen on the island, but I never heard of that before, but now I'm hearing that. So again, weird. Maybe there was the whole time, but there is conflicting reports. What I also find interesting and disturbing is that the tour company can't contact all the people that was on or there that day, on that boat or there that day. I think that's a load of you-know-what. So they called off the search, like I mentioned, and I saw that the FBI got involved. Now, according to Billy, who we've been having a dialogue back and forth on my video, she commented that there has been no updates, and I promised her that I will update when and if there is more info. No problem at all. Now, the family said that they don't believe that her boyfriend Paige wrote was involved in it. They did describe him as distraught. I wish I could hear, though, from all parties involved what their version of the story was. Hopefully, people will start coming forward in this. Now, I did look on TripAdvisor about this tour company, and they have rave reviews. People love this tour company, and they love the tour. What I did find a little disturbing were a couple of comments made by reviewers about a captain and some of his questionable behaviors. I don't know if it's the same captain or not, but there were reports of inappropriate behavior. And when I read that, and I thought, well, there was a captain who walked her back at the tent at 2:30, but they're also saying that she was last seen at 10:30. So it brings up some questions. What are your thoughts? And if you're just coming on this premiere, thank you and welcome. We have just covered 5 cases now that I talked about in January, with also new updates and new info. And we have 2 more to cover on this. So if you're going to join us in chat, you are more than welcome to. Just remember to keep it classy. On to Holly Clark. Holly is a 29-year-old Canadian musician who was scheduled to meet up with her friends for a jam session on Saturday, January 11th in Hamilton, Ontario, except she never made it. She was last seen 4 p.m. that day, and cameras confirm that. The night before, she phoned her parents pleading for them for a plane ticket back to Calgary, which is where she grew up. And she told her dad, Dave Clark, that 2 men have been chasing her. There was even a 911 call made by her roommates that Holly broke into her own home, into her bedroom. And her voicemail was made public, or parts of it, and she sounded really, really upset. She just pleaded to her parents that she just wanted to come back home. Now, her dad went to go pick her up right away, but then she disappeared. So it's been a difficult process for Holly's parents and family and loved ones. Not only is she missing, but they have ran into some crazy obstacles. They are getting leads and they have to wait to follow up on it. I mean, a long time too. One of the leads was by 3 people who spotted Holly at a budget inn only a few blocks away from where she was last seen. And when her dad went to go follow up, he was told he had to wait because they don't have 48 warrants for 48 of the motel rooms. And so when these leads come in, how do they not go cold, right? Super frustrating and disheartening. I was also listening to a podcast yesterday, and Dave Clark said that they got a tip that Holly was actually seen at a mall. And there he mentioned that it was something called the Dream Team, where they have dogs and they do some sort of helping. I have to look into more of that. But they said that they wanted to help out, and they said that they definitely found Holly's scent at the mall. So they tried to follow up on this tip, but they had to wait 24 hours to get access to these mall cameras. And it's policy that the mall looks at this footage first, and then if they find something, if they want, then they will forward it to the police. So they have to actually view this tape, see if that's her. I mean, who to know better than her father, right? So there's more than a 24-hour gap from the tip of when they got the tip and from them knowing anyway. So it's super heartbreaking. Dave also said that he's trying to extend the search past Hamilton, Ontario. And then he said that none of the police in the surrounding areas know about her disappearance. They said they didn't even recognize her picture or anything. He says, and I quote, "The number of catch-22 situations that we've gotten into is just shocking." He said, "There's something here that's just not working." He also said that if the police officers looked up Holly, they would find her in the database, but they can't even recognize that that Holly is even missing. So he just says that there's something not right in terms of the way they streamline their info. Now, I do want to mention this, and because there is a comment there's several comments by one person under this particular video of Holly Clark that is absolutely vile. Only I hesitated to delete it because it seemed a little too creepy and a little too targeted, that this character did not go in any of my other videos to troll. He just did it on hers, and the way he talked about it, it just didn't sit right, and it sent a flag. It just was a red flag for me. So I did do the right thing and I did report it, and I'm not taking it down because I want to have record that if it is anything, that they know who this person is and they can follow up on it. So I'm sorry in advance that you have to read that, but at the same time, I'm not deleting it because it's important. I don't want to delete something that could be very, very important. I will also leave the info in the description below if you do have some sort of information at all, anything, no matter how small or how big. Now, that budget in though worries me because the 3 people that confirmed that they saw Holly, they said that she looked drugged and that she was being dragged or escorted by some other male. Now, this motel is known for drugs and prostitution and sex trafficking, like so much more. So people have actually started a petition to have it demolished. So, how you guys doing? Are you doing good? Let me know. Give me a heck yeah in the comments if you're doing good. This one is a long one, isn't it? Okay, one of the craziest entangled web of a case that just gets weirder and weirder by the minute. I'm talking about Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell and Lori's missing children Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow. Tylee is 17 and JJ is only 7. Now, Lori was found Sunday in Kauai, Hawaii after taking off in November when authorities came for a welfare check on the kids. Family hadn't heard from them. They started getting worried. So witnesses say that Lori said that Tylee died a few years ago, and she was telling authorities that JJ was in Arizona visiting family. Now, Chad was overheard that Lori doesn't have any minor children, and it's important to note that Chad and Lori actually got married in November. So the kids went missing in September and they got married in November. So weird. Anyways, Lori was also served an order that she had to produce both JJ and Tylee and has only 5 days to do that. So today is the day she needs to produce it. So at the time of this video, I do not know the answer, but I promise I will give you the answer in another video. Now, I'm starting to go through the cobwebs bit by bit, and I see there is a lot of death with these two that surrounds them and a lot of marriages. It's very weird. One of the things that I want to mention, and I will do another video on it, is about Lori's brother, Alex Cox. He actually shot Lori's 4th husband in July in Arizona. Now, Chad is her 5th husband, and Chad married Lori 2 weeks after his own wife died. From what he said, she went to bed with a bad cough and didn't wake up. Now, they have since exhumed her body and are waiting on the autopsy. She died in early November, I believe it was, late October, and a couple weeks later, Chad gets married, and he had been married to Tammy, his wife that passed away for, I think it was almost 30 years, 30 years. And so they have exhumed her body and are waiting for the autopsy reports. Now, back to Lori's brother, Alex. I heard the 911 call that he made. Alex called 911 and said that he has just shot his brother-in-law. And he sounded fairly calm. He wasn't angry or anything. He just sounded calm. The operator asked if he can go check on him. He says, sure. And then the operator asks, are you willing to do CPR on him? He's like, no, I don't know how to do it. And she says, no problem, I'll instruct you on it. And then goes ahead with the instructions. Now, at first, it sounds like he's administering CPR. And then he continues to talk. And I'm wondering at this point, like, is he on the phone on a speakerphone? Does he have earbuds on, or is his phone up to his ear? And the reason why I ask is when you do CPR, and I'm not sure if you know this or not, but when you do CPR, you are all in. Your arms are straight and you are pushing, right? So there's no way you're on a phone like this when you're giving it your all. I mean, I guess you could try, but it's not very effective for the patient. And while you keep doing this, you get out of breath because you're doing this continuously and your full body's in it. Now, he did say he doesn't know how to do it, so maybe he was doing it wrong. Or maybe right, we don't know. I don't know. But I decided to ask a 15-year paramedic who might have some insight. And I asked him his opinion without even saying what I thought. And he tells me that it sounds like there's something going on at first, but he said that he should be way more out of breath than that because it's labor intensive. I found that really interesting. Did he just stop? Also, the medic said that when someone is found unresponsive, they administer CPR and can for a half an hour, as long as there is what they call a shockable rhythm. And it shows in body cams and police body cams that the medics do come in and they are doing CPR on him. Because I said to this paramedic, oh, if the guy's already dead, do they still do it? And he says, yes, as long as there is a shockable rhythm, and because he was shot, they will try. So that's good to know. And the brother-in-law's name is Charles Vallow. And since Charles was shot, they did do that. Now, what are your thoughts? Obviously, the medic wasn't there, and I was just super curious what his opinion was. He sees this every day, and I thought, well, maybe that's me not knowing, but maybe it's something there. Let's just ask him. Now, Lori and Chad have 5 days to produce their children, or Lori could be in contempt of court. At the timing of the video, today is 5 days, like I mentioned, so I'll have to keep you updated on what went down. I really hope it's just a case that the kids are in some sort of hiding, preparing for doomsday, because Lori actually thinks she's God, or she's a God, preparing for the second coming of Christ this July 2020. Did you guys actually see her this week on an interview? It was absolutely disgraceful. She was so smug, and I'm sure the whole world wanted to wipe the smirk off her face, me included. The reporter kept barreling questions at her, and good for him that he did. He just kept talking to her and asking her questions, but she had nothing to say until he said that people are praying for her kids. And she literally just looked and went, that's great, and then just kept walking. Good thing I wasn't there. What are your thoughts on the format this way to help catch up what's going on the cases and everything like that? Do you like it? Would you want me to do one also in February, or would you want me to do one weekly so it's not as long? Please let me know. I'd love to know. Also, what you would like to see in my lives once I get approved. Now, if you really want me to do another one, put heck yeah in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. That way, it's an indicator that I know you love it. So let's chat more when this video is done. As I understand, I'm able to chat longer, so we'll just have a good chat. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them as well. Hopefully soon I can go live. I have grown so fast that, like I mentioned earlier, I'm just waiting for approval. I can't do it from my computer because, to be honest, the camera is not the best, and I don't even think my computer would make it through the I don't think it has the enough juice, let's just say, to run something like this. So don't ever get an Asus. I'm just saying, don't get an Asus laptop. It's been like the bane for me for the last 2 years. Oh, and any suggestions on what I could do for a backdrop? Because I hate the background color right now, but my message was way more important, so I just wanted to get my videos out there. But of course, I'd like to upgrade it. Any suggestions would be super welcomed. I want something a little bit different and something in line with the theme of my channel, but nothing crazy. Please like this video, please share this video, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to hit that notification bell because it does notify you when I upload my videos. Otherwise, you might miss it. I super appreciate it, and I super appreciate every single one of you. Without you, there wouldn't be this channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.